Hello everybody, this is your one and only Chicken Salad, here with Alpha Beta Demos, a series where I play early builds of the game in an attempt to feel something, anything. There were too many to cover this Steam Next Fest, so I've narrowed it down to the ones that caught my eye, or at least my attention. So here are the demos that we'll be talking about briefly today.
Were settled in a frozen wasteland.
Alguma coisa em sua vila.
Yeah, because of the bare feet.
I don't. Yeah, that's how I.
If you'd like more of this noble descent into demo madness, consider subscribing and liking the video, or just stare at your reflection in silence for 12 seconds. Both help the algorithm. So without any further ado, let's begin. Jumpship is a PvE co-op FPS / spacefaring hybrid from Keepsake Games, blasting off sometime in 2025. After getting ambushed on a mission to contact the Resistance, you crash land, find a suspiciously helpful machine named Iris, and team up to build up a jumpship that will take you to the corrupted heart of the machine uprising. The gameplay splits between chaotic space fights, dogfights, repairing, crafting, and putting out fires, underfoot FPS with grappling hooks and jetpacks, and downtime at the base where you upgrade gear and choose missions with risk-reward trade-offs. The visuals lean more towards Saturday morning Space Squad than the grim apocalypse, and the audio adds just enough mechanical charm to sell you the setting without overachieving. While the story does the job, it lacks the branching choices that could have made the stakes more personal, or at least go through the cliche of looking at the philosophical reasons why the machines are trying to uprise. I didn't try the co-op, but it's clearly designed for friends yelling over each other while the ship is on fire, someone's upside down in 0G, and the ammo ran out 5 minutes ago. It's like trying to fix a printer during re-entry. No one knows what's happening, but you're all shouting about the paper jams anyway. Overall, the demo for Jumpship is a solid one, showcasing the gameplay mechanics at its core. So if you like the FPS and spacefaring, potentially up to 3 other crewmates in the chaos, maybe instead of trying to jump ship, it's time to jump in this ship.
Your booze mean nothing. I've seen what makes you cheer.
No, I'm Not a Human is a first-person survival horror game from the developer Chickensalad and the publisher Critical Reflex, creeping onto our screens in the third quarter of 2025. It's set in a world where the sun grows hotter by the day, and the true horror might just be your house guests. Playing as a lone survivor warned by a friendly neighbor, you must decide who to let into your home at night. Some are just looking for shelter, while others might be visitors, eerie imposters disguised as people with red eyes, flawless teeth, and suspiciously smooth armpits. Most of the gameplay happens inside your home, balancing energy, listening to TV and radio broadcasts for clues, and interrogating strangers while conserving enough willpower to not chug a beer and sleep through the apocalypse. With a tight day-night cycle and limited resources, every choice feels heavy, especially when testing ends with a moral crisis and a shotgun. The visuals are wonderfully creepy, the audio bleak and immersive, and the pacing slow burn in the best ways. More dialogue options would have deepened the paranoia, but what's here works. It's like playing bouncer at a haunted house party during a solar meltdown. Everyone's lying, someone's glowing, and the fridge is judging you. Overall, I really enjoyed this demo with the heavy choices to make and the resource management. So, if you like horror with the tension and paranoia, perhaps you can open that door and let your neighbors in, just like I did.
Did you let them in the house?
Ball X Pit is a brick-breaking, ball-fusing, base-building survival roguelite developed by Kenny Sun and published by Devolver Digital, bouncing onto screens in 2025. After the fall of Babylon Tower, you descend into an ever-expanding pit. You increasingly launch balls at creeping enemies, collect resources, fuse upgrades, and build a home base using stone, wood, and bouncing mechanics. Between fending off mini-bosses, harvesting with human pinballs, and selecting different characters with unique ball powers, there's a constant rhythm of bouncing between survival and strategy. The 2D/3D visual mix works well, the sound design lands its hits, and the silence before the boss battle is a nice tension builder. It may lack the narrative depth, but the gameplay core is strong and satisfyingly familiar. It's like juggling chainsaws while building IKEA furniture in a bouncing castle. Unhinged, precise, and surprisingly productive. Overall, amazing gameplay to sit for hours on end juggling 4 life choices and breaking out that old arcade machine. So, if you'd like a new spin on old mechanics, this might be the breakout for you.
Tennis ball, baseball, wiffle ball, golf ball, basketball, beach ball.
This is a Brine Punk fast-paced roguelite FPS developed by Double Moose Games and published by the Arcade Crew, whetting our appetites on August 13, 2025. You are contracted to explore the abyssal depths, uncovering cryptic journals, impossible tech, and mystical creatures that aren't exactly thrilled to see you. Combat is snappy and chaotic, with a satisfying arsenal of weapons and attachments that evolve each run via upgrades from altars and ancient forges. Room objectives keep things varied, clearing out enemies, destroying nests, or charging up glowing beacons, while brine canisters let you crank the difficulty until it squeals. Visually, it's alien and eerie in all the right ways, with the slick animation and chunky gun audio that sells the action. The only hiccup? The rock biome transitions feel like being transported from a haunted trench into a neon rave without warning. A little narrative breadcrumbing would help the flow, unless that jarring whiplash is the point. Either way, it's like getting thrown into a fish tank with a jetpack and a shotgun. Confusing, wet, and wildly entertaining. Overall, the gameplay loop was fun, and having the option of 4-player co-op is a plus. So, if you like fast-paced FPS roguelites, this might be the game to dive headfirst in.
Now dive, fool! Dive!
Morbid Metal is a stylish hack-and-slash action roguelite developed by Screen Juice and published by Ubisoft, slicing its way onto the scene on August 21st, 2025. Set in a mysterious simulation, you battle through waves of mechanical enemies, fine-tuning your skills for something. Maybe a final test, maybe just leg day for robots. Combat is fast, fluid, and flashy, with cinematic moves, crunchy hits, and a satisfying rhythm of building basic attacks into massive damage dealers while managing cooldown-based specials. After each room, you pick from 3 buffs to shape your run, adding replayability and that classic roguelite spice. With clean visuals, punchy sound design, and music that matches the chaos beat for beat, the game delivers both style and substance. It's like parkouring through a blender, sharp, stylish, and you're not entirely sure you're supposed to survive it, but you look amazing doing it. Overall, I enjoyed the flashy visuals, intrigue from the story, and the responsive game mechanics that add to the satisfaction. So, if you like the machine-on-machine action sparking away on your screen, then this game might be the action you're looking for.
Shiny.
Hell Is Us is a third-person action-adventure developed by Rogue Factor and published by Nacon, emerging onto the scene in September 5th, 2025. Set in a war-torn nation of Hadia, you play a man returning to his birthplace, a land he was smuggled out of as a child by his mother, with only a necklace and a lot of unresolved questions. Framed as an interrogation flashback, the story unfolds through atmospheric exploration, cryptic relics, and encounters with locals who carry just as many scars as the landscape around them. Strange, otherworldly creatures stalk the terrain, and combat is weighty and deliberate, demanding patience, stamina management, and clever use of special abilities. Each landed hit charges your limbic energy, which you can convert into health, adding a satisfying risk-reward layer to every skirmish. The cutscene direction and facial animations are impressive, while the creature design dipped deep into the cosmic horror pool, all twitchy limbs and existential unease, as well as abstractions. Though the pace of combat takes a moment to click, the story's intrigue and the haunting setting kept me hooked. It's like reading your childhood diary in a haunted bunker, familiar, unsettling, and probably filled with things you don't remember writing. Overall, it was a great demo to sample what's to come, so if you're into grounded, punishing combat wrapped in a mysterious narrative, then this might be a trip worth taking.
We should take a trip.
Ascent to Zero is an isometric roguelike developed by Flyaway Games and published by them, also with Crafton. You are hurled back in time to save the world. Each run is a frantic sprint against the clock to reach the boss and dive deeper, with precious seconds earned through performance and use of currency, or paused by freezing time to plan your attack and or gather resources. Enemies drop tech chips to upgrade or modify your offense, defense, speed, and time, while unlocking team members grants you access to vendors for gear, weapons, and perks. The game's auto-attacking weapons can be directed or left to do their own thing while you bob and weave and level up. There are multiple characters to pick from, each with their own unique passive bonuses. The voxel-style visuals are clean and it fits well with the anime-inspired character designs. Ultimately, the game nails that speedrun loop satisfaction, learning, dying, optimizing, and repeating. It's like trying to outrun a microwave with legs, loud, hot, and somehow always one step behind you. Overall, I really did enjoy the fast-paced gameplay, giving you that quick feedback on the progression via the limitation on the time and the distance made. Although the gameplay loop was fun, it didn't quite hold me for too long. I think it would be better if they drip-fed progression of unlocks and made it very apparent so the game could become very addictive. So if you like speedrunning with random chance, then it's time to give this game a go.
Blazing speed! Blazing speed!
Holston is a psychological survival horror game developed and published by Sunkar. Set in a disturbingly calm 1990s Polish town where something has clearly gone off the rails. You arrive in Zielony Colony, searching for a missing friend, only to be greeted by writhing biomass, a guilt-ridden scientist, and locals who treat the encroaching ooze like it's just another mild inconvenience. Played from an isometric view that smoothly shifts to over-the-shoulder gun combat, the game mixes exploration, light puzzle solving, trading, crafting, and brawling with mutated townsfolk. Combat is stamina based, and since your stamina is tied to your health, every action feels like a gamble. The pixel art filter blended with the 3D environments give it a gritty, stylish edge, while the wet, squelching audio design really sells the town's moist horrors. Voice acting adds weight to the key moments, though the puzzles could use a touch more complexity. Still, the mystery and the bizarrely calm residents pulled me in. It's like stepping into a museum diorama and realizing that the mannequins are breathing. Quietly wrong, yet you can't stop staring. Overall, I really did enjoy the narrative, dialogue, and the game mechanics. So if you're into horror with clever perspective shifts and eerie vibes, this one's worth a visit.
Your village sounds terrible.
Clock is a top-down roguelike developed by Rogue Snail and published by Mad Mushroom, descending into darkness on July 23, 2025. Loosely inspired by the real events of the Canudos massacre, you're thrown into a world where ungodly creatures roam. The Antichrist has kidnapped the counselor, and you're the unlucky soul sent to this cursed descent. Each run is a race against the clock as you dive deeper into cursed floors, collecting golds and trinkets, upgrading skills, and equipping weapons, armor, and relics. You'll choose blessings from altars or when you level up to shape your build, with combat that's deliberate and cooldown based, where mana, dodging, and careful timing matters just as much as your gear. Altars, shops, and chests offer resources and bonuses, but health is limited, and even your potions come with scarcity built in. You'll find a rhythm between short-term tactics and long-term upgrades, with new modifiers and unlocks purchased after death. Visually, the game leans into the grim, expressive cartoon stylings reminiscent of the Curse of the Dead Gods, while the music channels that Diablo 2 tone, eerie, atmospheric, and heavy with dread. The sound design is sharp, with clear audio cues helping guide your decisions when chaos takes over. I appreciate the dual difficulty modes, hardcore for punishment and softcore for pacing, and the tension from the ever-ticking timer. But even with the strong core loop, something didn't fully click with me. It's like being handed the holy sword and told to cleanse hell, while it's still dripping from the last poor soul who tried. Overall, Hellclock delivers a tight roguelike experience with smart modifiers and built-in depth. Just be prepared for sharp difficulty spikes and unforgiving descent. So if you like roguelikes, this one is definitely a game to consider.
I considered it.
Giggleland is a mascot horror game developed by the enigmatic lowercase v uppercase P 1 lowercase q lowercase o uppercase W uppercase R lowercase p uppercase D 6 uppercase M. Yes, that's really the name. And also developed with KMW, who is also the publisher. Set in a deceptively cheerful amusement park. The demo drops you into Terry's Farm, a themed area where puzzles are simple, items are single use, and the vibe slowly shifts from charming to unsettling. Visually, it leans hard into the childlike whimsy, storybook murals, animatronics, and the playful decor. But it's the subtle environmental changes that quietly dial up the dread. One moment it's barnyard bliss, The next, you're staring down a warped metal coffin at the end of a long hallway. Audio is used sparingly but effectively. Creaks and cues build tension without relying too heavily on jump scares. That said, there's not much actual threat in the demo, which makes the fear more ambient than active. What does make it stand out is its fourth wall breaking. Giggleland snoops through your desktop, screenshots it, and flashes it back at you near the end of the demo. It even showed my friend list, like a stalker with a nursery rhyme. It's like getting a hug from a mascot, only to realize the costume is still warm and no one's inside. Overall, a promising foundation with some clever tricks. I'll be watching this one closely, even if it's already watching me.
It's watching me.
Morris Protocol is a sci-fi pixel art FPS roguelite developed by Pixel Rain and published by Super Rare Originals, set to release in the third quarter of 2025. You awaken on board the Orpheus, greeted by a voice claiming the Morris Protocol has been successfully initiated, whatever that means. With no contact from command and the hallways littered with corpses, you venture out to discover the ship is overrun by an alien threat known as the Dark Fate. Before long, you're attacked by a woman named Jocass, who calls you a monster and promptly kills you, which, in a twist, doesn't end the story. Instead, you respawn in a new body, raising questions about your identity and the true nature of the voice guiding you. The gameplay is split across procedurally generated rooms. You'll melee, shoot, dodge, and kick explosive barrels. You can only carry one melee weapon, one ballistic, and one energy gun, forcing you to choose your loadout wisely. Stamina governs dodging and melee, while modifiers and loot chests offer incremental upgrades to equip. When you reach the teleportation room, it teleports you to the next level, allowing you to plot your next route on your map, with each path having its own risk and rewards. Death isn't the end, it's currency. You use the Dark Phage collected from the enemies to upgrade before the next run, slowly unlocking more potential with each failed attempt. Visually, it's got that nostalgic pixel grit down pat. Enemy and environment designs work well, though some characters' close-ups, especially Jocass, comes off a little intense. Audio is functional if not standout. The story is familiar, what is humanity, but it's not trying to reinvent the genre, and that's fine. Between the tight gameplay loop and the solid roguelike structures, I've already joined the playtest and plan to keep going. Overall, it's a solid demo showcasing what it is, so if you enjoy boomer shooters with a roguelike structure, then this game might be for you.
I like it.
Baby Steps is a physics-based open-world adventure developed by Gabe Cozzilio, Maxi Botch, and Bennett Foddy, and published by Devolver Digital. It waddles awkwardly onto the scene, September 9th, 2025. You play as Nate, a man-child wasting away in his parents' basement, seemingly allergic to effort. One day, he's sucked into a strange new world, which he assumes, with toddler-like certainty, must be a video game. Naturally, his first priority is to find a toilet.
What's the name of the...
Guided
Nathan?
or pestered by a man named Jim, Nate embarks on a journey across a bizarre, uneven landscape. But here's the catch. You control Nate's legs one step at a time. Using a controller or mouse and keyboard, you swing each leg forward, backwards, up, and sideways, nudging his feet into place while managing balanced terrain and an overwhelming sense of awkwardness. It's like Co-op grew up, moved out, and decided to become an open-world game. Along the way, you'll meet strange characters, slip down suspiciously glossy hills, and struggle with surfaces that treat friction as a polite suggestion. Progress is slow, but that's entirely by design. Visually, the game leans into caricature with Nate's disheveled appearance and exaggerated animations. The facial expressions and body language are expressive, even if a little unpolished. And the physical comedy lands thanks to the strong direction. The audio design is solid, while the voice acting strikes a great comedic tone. With delivery so good, you can almost hear the actors trying not to laugh. Now, I'll admit, I expected this to be another rage-bait physics game designed purely for streaming reactions, but instead, I found something oddly meditative and surprisingly clever. The pacing encouraged reflection, and the challenge isn't just in the mechanics. It's in the learning to appreciate them. And the humor lands through surprise and struggle, not just slapstick. I haven't played much of this genre before, so maybe I'm the ideal candidate. But regardless, I'm intrigued. It turns out walking really is harder than it looks. So if you're into slow, strange journeys with surprisingly sharp writing, you might want to take a step in its direction.
You have to take the first step.
Tormented Souls 2 is a throwback survival horror game developed by Dual Effect and published by P-Cube, releasing sometime in 2025. You play as Caroline Walker, returning after the events of the first game, now visiting Villa Hess in hopes of helping her younger sister Anna. But things go south fast when a nun leads them to a convent, only to rest where it turns into an occult ritual. Caroline wakes up in a medical bay, her body full of needles and her sister gone, kidnapped by the very nuns who offered her sanctuary. With the path forward sealed by occult forces, she strikes a bargain with a strange figure named Joseph. The goal? Find a sacred book and exorcise some very tormented souls. Literally, to reach her sister. Gameplay is classic survival horror. Fixed camera angles, tank controls, and puzzles that range from mildly tricky to where did I see that again. Backtracking is essential, as is managing inventory, combining items, and keeping track of cryptic clues. There is a shadow mechanic where you die if you linger too long in the darkness, though it feels like it wasn't fully fleshed out in this demo. Visually, the environments are richly detailed and drenched in gothic atmosphere. Creature designs are unsettling and each enemy comes with its own distinct movement and attack patterns. Character designs is a mixed bag. Carolina's outfit is memorable, and facial animations during dialogue feel a touch exaggerated, but they add charm in their own strange way. On the audio front, ambient sound design really pulls its weight, building dread in all the right places. The music complements the setting, and the voice acting is serviceable, if occasionally stiff. This demo made me genuinely nostalgic for survival horror classics. It delivers that uneasy camera tension, item hunting satisfaction, and a slow burn sense of dread. I haven't played the first Tormented Souls, but if it's anything like this demo, I might have to dig it up. So, if you've been craving that old school survival horror flavor with puzzles, pacing, and a good splash of blood, Tormented Souls 2 might be the haunted house tour you've been waiting for. Just be sure to bring a flashlight, and maybe a second opinion on that nun.
Where's my flashlight?
Moonlighter 2 The Endless Vault is an action RPG with roguelike elements and shopkeeping mechanics, developed by Digital Sun and published by 11-Bit Studios. It's set to release sometime in 2025. You play as Will, a shopkeeper who's been driven out of the village of Rhinoka. Rather than quietly retire or take up pottery, he follows a mysterious voice that promises to grant his heart's desire, if he survives the trial of the Endless Vault. Naturally, he accepts, because that's what protagonists do. Gameplay revolves around two halves, clearing procedurally generated dungeons and running your shop. Combat includes melee attacks, ranged weapons, and yes, bag-based bludgeoning. You'll need to manage limited healing, use the environment to your advantage, and gather relics from chests as you go. Here's where it gets clever. Those relics aren't just loot. They come with unique modifiers that only activate depending on how you organize them in your bag. It's Tetris if Tetris were more interested in the market value than shapes. The better you're packing, the better your profit. Once you return from the vault, it's time to flip those relics for cash. You'll set up your store, assign boosts and charms to increase the item's value, and even mop the floors. Because clean tiles means happy customers, and happy customers mean bigger wallets. Visually, Moonlighter 2 retains that vibrant, rich aesthetic. The animation is clean, the color palette feels tailored to both whimsy and mystery, and the designs of enemies and environments feel cohesive, charming, and clean. Audio design is tight, with satisfying feedback in combat and relaxing ambience back at the shop. For me, the highlight is still the item management, arranging relics like a puzzle to squeeze out every possible coin. The shopkeeping has just enough added layers to keep it fresh, and the action side holds up its end of the deal too. If you're the kind of person who thinks the boss fight should be followed by a price check, Moonlighter 2 might just be your ideal economy. Just don't forget to sweep the floors between dungeon runs. The dust kills the margin. And that concludes this round of digital spelunking. From roguelites and mascot nightmares to philosophical bodies with guns, it's clear the Steam Next Fest is thriving. and slightly unhinged. If you liked any of them, wishlist the game. If you didn't, try blinking more often. I've been Chicken Salad and you've been watching Alpha Beta Demos. Thanks for watching, don't forget to subscribe, like and tell 3 ghosts about this channel, preferably friendly ones. I'll be back with more demos unless the next one pulls me through the screen like a VHS tape with abandonment issues. And as always, take it easy. Until next adventure, I'll see you there. Thanks for watching. Bye now. Maybe instead of jumping ship, it's time to jump in this ship. Oh, I don't like that. Oh, that made me cringe back. Oh, I don't like that. Maybe instead of trying to jump ship, it's time to jump in this ship. Oh, that is nasty. That is nasty. You arrive in... You arrive in... Is it... Jeziorni Colony? Yeah. And... my god, please. And then why can't I do this? And then and please, brain, please move the mouth, please. This isn't a physics-based thing. Come on, we're not in the game.